Welcome, colleagues, pharmacy students, and freshers. I am so glad you could join me today. We're going to explore a really foundational concept in our industry. We'll be looking at exactly how the pharmaceutical sector guarantees that the medicines we make are safe, effective, and perfectly consistent every single time. Yep, we're talking about quality by design, or QbD. Seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever wondered why every single tablet in a medicine strip looks, feels, and performs exactly the same? I mean, just like we expect our daily cup of morning tea to taste exactly right every time it's brewed, we absolutely expect our medicines to perform flawlessly in the human body, without exception. There's just no room for error when a patient's health is on the line, right? Well, for a long time, we relied on a pretty traditional approach. We'd manufacture a batch of drugs, take a sample to the QC lab, and basically cross our fingers and hope it passed the test. It was a really risky test and fix approach right at the end of the line. But today we use quality by design. This means we literally build quality into the product from the very beginning. We control all the variables, so a batch never fails. Quality is designed, not just tested.
So, let's quickly check out our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover the QbD shift, define our target profile, outline critical attributes, talk about managing risks, establish a design space, and finally, look at control strategies. Let's jump in.
Section 1. The quality by design shift, a science-based approach. To clearly define what this industry-wide shift to quality by design actually means for us on a day-to-day practical level, we look at the golden rule from the ICH Q8 guideline. Originally conceptualized by the famous quality expert Joseph M. Juran, QbD is a highly systematic, science-based approach. It basically means we don't just guess. No way. We use robust science and quality risk management to deeply, fully understand our product and our process. We engineer the quality into the medicine from day one.
Moving on to Section 2, defining the target profile, the blueprint.
Every sturdy house begins with a precise blueprint, isn't it? You wouldn't just start laying bricks without a plan. In pharmaceutical development, that foundational blueprint is the Quality Target Product Profile, or QTPP. Before we mix a single gram of powder, we define the exact end goal we have in mind. What specific disease are we treating here? Is it a solid oral tablet or maybe an injection? What's the strength? What's the shelf life? The QTP keeps the patient right at the center of our design from the get-go.
Section 3. Critical quality and process attributes. What matters most?
Okay, so now that we have our blueprint, we have to identify the exact physical and chemical characteristics that actually make the medicine work safely and effectively. Enter the critical quality attributes, or CQAs. Think of these as your absolute non-negotiable quality targets. If you're making a tablet, your CQAs are things like the assay or potency, the dissolution rate, the purity, and the stability. If these properties fall outside our strict limits, the patient simply doesn't get the promised therapeutic benefit. It really is that simple.
The FDA clearly lays out how this whole chain works. A patient's clinical outcome, meaning their safety and the efficacy of the treatment, links directly back to those drug CQAs we just talked about. And those CQAs, they are ultimately controlled by our formulation materials and our actual manufacturing processes all the way down at the foundation level.
So, to guarantee those crucial CQAs, we have to look really closely at our inputs. Step 1, we identify the drug's CQAs. Step 2, we identify the critical material attributes, the CMAs of our raw ingredients. And finally, Step 3, we identify the critical process parameters, the CPPs of our manufacturing machines. Let's make this super practical. Think about making the perfect cup of masala chai. The quality of your tea depends entirely on the material inputs, like the particle size of the tea leaves, the freshness of the milk, and your process parameters, like the boiling temperature and how long you let it simmer. It's the exact same concept in pharma. A tablet's quality attributes, like blend uniformity and potency, depend entirely on input materials like API particle size and moisture, combined with process parameters like the speed and time of your mixing machine. You control the inputs, and you perfectly guarantee the output.
Section 4. Managing risks in manufacturing. Finding the weak links.
Because a manufacturing plant is incredibly complex, we obviously can't monitor every single variable with the exact same intensity. We just don't have the time or resources. So, we must systematically find out which factors pose the highest risk to our product's quality. This is where quality risk management comes in, guided by the ICH Q9 document.
Long before any large-scale manufacturing even starts, an interdisciplinary team of experts sits down and maps out the entire process. They use specific tools to formally identify, analyze, and evaluate potential risks. We are intentionally hunting for the weak links before they ever become a real problem.
By mapping every single process step against our CQAs in a risk assessment grid, scientists can easily flag the high-risk variables. The high-risk interactions literally jump out as red flags. Knowing exactly where these red flags are allows us to focus our tightest controls precisely where they're needed most, rather than wasting time and money over-controlling low-risk steps. It's a highly efficient, totally scientific way to ensure quality.
Section 5. Design space and regulatory flexibility. The manufacturing sandbox. Now let's move to what is arguably the most powerful strategic and business benefit of the QbD framework, especially for generic drug developers who absolutely need to be agile and cost-effective. ICH-Q8 defines design space as a proven, multi-dimensional combination of inputs and process parameters. To use a simple Indian example, think of the design space as the perfect temperature range on a tawa for cooking a dosa. If the tawa is too cold, the dosa sticks. Too hot, and it burns. But anywhere within that perfect middle range, that safe sandbox, your quality is scientifically guaranteed.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this. Once regulatory agencies approve your design space, you gain incredible flexibility. If a generic manufacturer tweaks a process parameter, maybe they slightly adjust the mixing speed to optimize their yield, but they stay within this approved design space, it is not considered a regulatory change. They do not need to file costly and time-consuming post-approval variations. This prevents massive filing delays and allows for continuous improvement without hitting regulatory friction. Honestly, it's a total game changer for business efficiency.
Section 6. Control strategies and final benefits, bringing it all together.
We've done all this beautiful science, but we must ensure that our daily commercial operations actually stay within that highly beneficial design space on the factory floor, day in and day out. How do we do that? We lock our processes in with a control strategy. This is our daily playbook. It establishes strict material specifications, in-process testing, and real-time monitoring. These are our rigorous quality checkpoints on the factory floor that ensure we never, ever drift out of our safe design space.
To summarize this really elegant, scientific flow that we've mapped out today, we start by defining the patient target with the QTP. We identify the non-negotiable critical attributes, those CQAs. Then we map our materials and processes, the CMAs and CPPs. We assess the risks, we establish our safe design space sandbox, and we enforce the whole thing with a robust control strategy. The ultimate payoff of quality by design is truly profound. It transforms pharmaceutical manufacturing from a risky game of chance into a predictable, robust science. For the business side of the industry, it means a deep understanding of our products, dramatically fewer batch failures, and highly reliable generic manufacturing. And, of course, most importantly for the patient, it guarantees safety and the exact therapeutic relief they need.
Quality by design proves that excellence is engineered, not accidental. It is built in, never just tested in. So it leaves us all with a pretty vital question to consider about our own daily work in the pharma industry. Is your drug development process built on hope, or is it built on design? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.
If you found this video helpful, do hit the like button, subscribe to Pharma Portal so you never miss a new video, and drop your questions or comments in the section below. I read every single comment. Also share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.